right, good morning, everybody. Today, it is 10 a.m. on Tuesday. Today, we are talking about mindset, right? Specifically, why our mindset may be stunting our success, okay? Mindset is everything. We control who we are by what we think about. Now, have you ever really thought about what you think about? Think about that for a minute. Do you ever think about what you're consciously or unconsciously thinking about on a daily basis? If you did, you could alter the direction of your entire life. Our thoughts control who we are, and our thoughts are like magnets, right? They draw us toward what we obsess about. It's okay to obsess about things when it's things for positive, right? You're obsessing about success that you want, growth that you want, the person you want to become, right? The experiences that you want to live, the life you want to live. Become obsessed with that, and that's okay, right? The most successful people I know are also the most self-aware. They're aware of what they do. They're aware of what they think about, and they're aware of how they're perceived. Now, getting into thought, take this in perspective. We have 75, the average person has 75,000 thoughts a day. Think about that. It's a massive number. Have you ever thought about that? 75,000 thoughts every single day, right? And 91% of these thoughts are identical to the previous day, and the day before that, and the day before that, and the day before that. So 75,000 thoughts a day, the average person has, 91% of them are exactly the same every single day, day in and day out, right? And we wonder why our life seems to repeat itself over and over and over again, right? Essentially, a lot of people live their lives on autopilot. Who's been on autopilot before? You know, you've been in your car and you're in thought, you don't even know what you're thinking about, and you miss your exit, right? You miss your exit because you're in thought, and then you think about, what was I even thinking about? And you have no idea. Right? It's because our mind is full of these unconscious thoughts every single day. Now, the separation in our lives is in that 9%, right? So if 91% of our thoughts are just happening over and over and over again, that 9% is what we control, right? How are we controlling that 9%? What are we feeding our mind with in that 9% that we're consciously thinking about? You see, our possessions, our obsessions become our possessions. And the difference is in that 9%. And we need to hone in what we think about and then alter those 9% that are variable to serve us, right? So here's the thing. If we don't, those thoughts can become like a virus, right? And for most people, that 9%, it's a new problem in their life, right? So they have 75,000 thoughts, 91% are unconscious, right? For most people, though, that additional 9% are new problems that arise, or an email they have to respond to, or a phone call they're dreading making, right? And what happens is, it's like our reticular activator. Who's heard of the reticular activator before? Right? The reticular activator, it's a system that filters out everything we see. So basically, it's how we see our lives through a lens, right? And it's a powerful tool because it filters out everything that's not important to us, right? And it allows us to only focus on what's important to us. Think about the reticular activator in the sense of like when you buy a new car. I'm sure you guys have heard this before, right? You buy a new car and it's a, I don't know, it's a Ford something or another, and it's a red Ford. All of a sudden you start seeing red Fords everywhere, right? Because you're focused on that new car that you just got. That's your reticular activator in motion. Those cars were always there before. You just didn't pay attention to it because now you're focused on it, right? So it allows us to focus on the reticular activator, allows us to focus on what's important. So how do we use that 9% of conscious thought to serve us? Well, one, we have to have a plan for our lives, right? We have to know what's important to us. We have to know how are we going to get there. Even though you might not know how you're going to get there, you have to have a plan in place for this is where I want to get. If I'm currently here, because the reality is where you are today is based on all of the decisions and the thoughts you've had for your entire life, right? The decisions and the thoughts you've had over the course of your life has shaped you into the person you are today. So if you're happy with that person, that's great. Keep doing what you're doing. And if you're not, we need to put a plan in place to get you to where you want to go, right? Now, one thing, think about this. Your phone, your cell phone right here, on average, we look at this 400 times per day, right? If we look at this thing 400 times per day, a good thing to have on here might be our goals. A vision board, right? Who has a vision board? If you have a vision board, drop it in. If you have comments too, drop it in here. Put your vision board on your phone, on your lock screen, right? Put your vision board on your lock screen. You look at that thing 400 times a day. That's a way of looking at your goals. And what is a vision board for people that don't know? A vision board is essentially a board of things that you want in life. right? So what do we want out of life? Put those on there. Like for me, I have cars that I've wanted, I have trips that I want to take. I have different things I want to achieve, people that I want to help, things I want to contribute to, places I want to donate to. All of that goes into my vision board, and I look at it every single day. I've got it saved right here on my screensaver. Got a screensaver right in front of me. My vision board is on my screensaver, and I look at that every single day. Now, if we don't change that 9%, our life's going to continue to look the same. So what I want you to do is, one, I want you to put together a vision board if you haven't. Put it on your phone, on your lock screen, so you look at it 400 times per day. And really think about what's important to you in your life. The other thing I want you to start doing is thinking about, how do we control the beginning and end of our day? So one of the first things you need to do when you wake up in the morning is start thinking about your goals. Take 5 minutes and start visualizing where you want your life to go, right? And then do that at the end of the day as well. Visualize where you want your life to go. You do this every single day and night with visualization of where you want to go. And I know some people are like, man, this is stupid. This is dumb. Like, okay, whatever. So I'm going to think my way into wealth. I'm going to think my way into an abundant life and prosperity. I get it, and most people don't do it, and that's why they never achieve the amount of success that they want to have, right? Because they don't do it. If you ever read a book called Think and Grow Rich, best part about that book, he said think, right? Think. Use your mind. Your brain's a powerful tool, and some of this can get a little out there. I get it. I'm going to give you some perspective, though. A little over 10 years ago, I was sitting in my house, just had my water shut off for, I don't know, the 5th time. Gas would constantly get shut off. I was behind on my bills, 100 grand in student loans. 10, 12 grand in credit card debt. I was on a first name basis with debt collectors, right? And I used to make excuses. Well, I'm not getting ahead because I've got all this debt. I'm not getting ahead because life isn't fair, right? Oh, woe is me, victim mentality, right? And it wasn't until about my 28th birthday where I said, you know what? I've got to change this. Something has to change. I need to start taking ownership of my life. I need to quit avoiding the debt collector calls. I need to look at my finances every day and not be afraid that I'm going to open up my bank account and have a negative balance, which happened a lot, right? I need to open up my bank account and say, okay, I'm negative. Why am I negative? What am I spending my money on? I had to put a plan together for my life and take ownership of my life. What I also did was I put together a vision board. I started writing my goals down, right? You write your goals down every single day as though you've already achieved them. It's not someday I will be a millionaire. It's I have $10 million in my checking account. I travel on a private jet, right? I run the largest real estate team in the world. I run the largest real estate brokerage. Whatever your goals are, whatever it's important to you, you start putting those down and writing those down every single day as though you've already achieved it. Because the truth is your subconscious can't differentiate your thoughts from your reality. So what you're feeding your brain with and feeding your mind with, your subconscious, it just thinks it's happening to you. It's reality. So if you're feeding it with a bunch of negative crap, guess what? You're going to get more negative crap. Have you ever met a person that was super negative? Did they have a great life? Probably not, because they're focused on everything that's wrong in their life instead of focusing on where do I need to go and where do I need to take my life and how do I need to get there, right? So over 10 years ago, I started writing my goals down every single day. I had a vision board I looked at every single day, and I continue to. And what's neat is over time, it's not going to happen overnight, but over time, your energy starts to draw you toward those goals. And you start thinking now, instead of thinking, I can't do that, or that's not for me, or that's for somebody else, you start thinking, how can I do that? That's the biggest differentiator between people that succeed in life and people that don't. When they're faced with a challenge, people say, I can't do that, and they shut their brain down and quit thinking. And the brain's the most powerful tool in the world, where successful people say, how can I do that? And they put their brain to work and start focusing on ways to make it happen. Despite what happens, because here's the deal, like stuff's going to happen, right? Like shit happens. It happens all the time. Bad stuff is going to happen. It's going to happen to you. It happens to me. It happens to everybody. Just because you get to your point in the life where maybe you have money and a lot more money than you ever had before, doesn't mean bad stuff's not going to happen. Life's full of pain. It's how we react to those situations, though, and what we do in spite of that. In spite of everything that happens to us, what are we doing to continue to push forward? So when bad things happen to me, what I do is I go back to my goals and I start writing my goals down again. I start focusing on my vision board. And because of that, I continue to win, right? Things are going to happen. Team members are going to leave your team. People are going to steal your leads, right? Clients are going to go buy a house without you. That stuff's going to happen. We have to look internally and think, though, what can I do to make sure that doesn't happen again? How do I strengthen my system? Do I need a better operating agreement with my team? Do I need to add more value to my clients so they don't go and buy a house without me? Right? We need to take ownership of that. And part of that starts with focusing on what's important to us and looking at what are we feeding our mind with every single day. So put your vision board together, and you'll be amazed at once. What's really cool about your vision board is, like, for me, the big thing for me was I bought a car that was on there for 10 years. Then I bought another car. Right? The cars are important, right? But then I took trips that were on there. I started taking trips that were on my vision board. I started, my bank account started matching what was on my vision board. So what I do too is I increase. There's levels to this, right? So I increase and I keep elevating what's on my vision board. If I've achieved it, now what's next? What's my next step? Where do I want to go next? Right? So what's on your vision board could be stuff that you want to achieve 10 years from now. It could be stuff that you want to achieve a week from now, a month from now, a year from now. It doesn't matter. Get it on there and start figuring out what's important to me in life. Where do I want to take my life? And then start feeding your mind with positive things and surround yourself with positive people that will help you make this happen. Because that's another big thing. If you're surrounding yourself with people that constantly make excuses and that constantly say, oh, whatever, that's a stupid thought, right? That's not the environment you want to be in. Surround yourself with people that want to win and that want to get the most out of life. So I guess my biggest takeaway here is, one, your mindset's everything. It can control whether you succeed in life or don't. And although you could have the most positive mindset in the world, stuff's still going to happen, and you have to figure out how to overcome those challenges, right? One of the ways is know what you want out of life, write your goals down, have a vision board, look at it every day, visualize your life, and start putting positive thoughts into your life. 75,000 thoughts a day, right? Make sure the bulk of them are positive. If you do that, you're going to start winning. If you have questions, drop them in. Glad everybody could be on. Have a great Tuesday. Have a great rest of the week. Take care.